At 6 in the morning, Emily Thompson's cell phone rang. Morning light was filtering through the curtains into her small apartment in Sacramento, California. Emily, a single mother, rubbed her still sleepy eyes and got up from bed. After checking the quiet breathing coming from the next room, Emily carefully made her way to the kitchen, being careful not to make any noise. Her 8-year-old daughter Lily had been having trouble getting up in the morning since she started 3rd grade. Emily made it her daily routine to prepare lunch before her daughter woke up. Emily sighed as she took out leftover chicken from the refrigerator. For her, working as a freelance graphic designer, daily life was like walking a tightrope. She had to handle sudden revision requests from clients and moved up deadlines while also managing school events and doctor visits. Sometimes she worked until late at night, but she was careful never to let Lily see any sign of this. As she was packing rice and side dishes into the lunchbox, Emily's cell phone vibrated. The message was from her ex-husband Michael. Even after their divorce 2 years ago, they still kept in touch a few times a month. As Lily's father, he tried to fulfill his minimum responsibilities. "Mom has been wanting to see Lily lately. How about this weekend?" Emily frowned. Her relationship with Michael's mother Patricia had never been good, even during their marriage. Patricia, who used to work for the school board, was constantly critical of Emily's work and parenting methods. After the divorce, she made no effort to hide her negative opinions about Emily raising Lily alone. "I'm too busy right now. Maybe another time." After sending the brief reply, Emily put her phone down on the counter. She couldn't afford to take on extra worries right now. A new project deadline was approaching, and she was planning to work this weekend too. "Morning, Mommy." When she turned around, Lily was standing at the kitchen entrance in her pajamas. Her brown hair was messy from sleep, but her big blue eyes were inherited from her father. "Good morning, Princess. You have a math test today, don't you?" "Yes. But my tummy hurts a little." Lily put her hand on her abdomen and grimaced slightly. Emily placed her hand on her daughter's forehead to check for fever, but there didn't seem to be any. "You might be nervous. You'll feel better after breakfast." Emily prepared cereal and milk for Lily and made coffee for herself. Mother and daughter sat side by side at the counter, exchanging their usual casual conversation. Lily's stomachache seemed mild, and the pain appeared to ease by the time she finished breakfast. After dropping her off at school, Emily returned to the apartment and got to work. She was concentrating on logo design for a new client when the school called around 2 in the afternoon. "Mrs. Thompson, Lily is resting in the nurse's office. She's been complaining of stomach pain since this morning. Could you please come pick her up?" Emily quickly interrupted her work and drove to the school. When she found Lily in the nurse's office,
"Can you imagine making $10,000 a month just from YouTube, all from home? That's exactly what I did with Reddit stories. No face, no voice. Check the link in the description if you're curious."
her daughter's face was pale and there was sweat on her forehead. "Mommy, it hurts." Lily groaned softly in her mother's arms. Emily instinctively knew this wasn't just an ordinary stomachache. "It's okay, let's go to the hospital." In the car, Lily occasionally moaned and pressed her lower right abdomen. Emily tried desperately to stay calm, but her heart was pounding violently. As a mother, she was tormented by the helplessness of not being able to take her daughter's pain away. When they arrived at the emergency department of Sacramento General Hospital, the attending physician conducted a quick examination. Blood tests and CT scan results showed that Lily had acute appendicitis. "Surgery is needed immediately. Fortunately, it hasn't ruptured yet, so we can handle it with laparoscopic surgery." While listening to the doctor's explanation, Emily signed the consent form with trembling hands. While waiting alone outside the operating room, she contacted Michael for the first time. Her ex-husband interrupted his work and rushed to the hospital. 2 hours later, the surgery was successfully completed. When Emily heard the doctor say, the surgery was successful, tears of relief wouldn't stop flowing. Michael was also sighing deeply beside her. For the first time since their divorce, they were working together toward a common goal. Looking at Lily sleeping in the hospital room, Emily once again felt the weight of responsibility as a mother. She was prepared to do anything to protect this small life. 3 days had passed since the surgery, and Lily's recovery was going well. The pain from the incision had eased, and she was gradually able to eat solid foods. Emily came to the hospital every day and worked beside her daughter, but lately she had been noticing subtle changes in Lily's behavior. "What about today's math homework? The teacher said you could take a break while you're in the hospital." When Emily looked up from her laptop to ask, Lily answered while staring out the window. "I'll do it. But I want to do it alone." It was unusual for Lily, who normally enjoyed studying with her mother, to say such a thing. Emily looked at her daughter's profile. Something was different. Lily no longer looked her mother straight in the eye when talking as she used to. "Are you feeling unwell? Is anything hurting?" "I'm fine." It was a curt response. Emily became worried, but told herself it might be stress from the surgery. For an 8-year-old child, the first hospitalization and surgery was a major ordeal. When visiting hours ended in the afternoon and Emily was preparing to leave, she was approached by Nurse Jenny in the hallway. Jenny worked the night shift and had met Emily a few times. "Mrs. Thompson, could I speak with you for a moment?" Jenny's expression was serious. They moved to a corner of the hallway. "Actually, there's something that's been bothering me. An elderly woman has been coming to Lily's room late at night for the past 2 nights." Emily's brow furrowed. An elderly woman? I'd say late 50s to early 60s. A well-dressed lady. At first I thought she had the visiting hours wrong. But coming 2 nights in a row around 2 in the morning is a bit strange, don't you think? What did she say? She said she was the grandmother. Said she couldn't sleep because she was worried about Lily, so she came to check on her. Security guard Tom apparently knows her and let her through. An unpleasant feeling spread through Emily's chest. When it came to Lily's grandmother, she could only think of Michael's mother, Patricia. Emily's parents had already passed away, and Michael's grandparents had died a few years ago. "Could you give me more details about this woman's appearance?" Medium height, with nicely styled silver hair. She carried an elegant handbag and spoke politely. "She gave me the impression of a teacher." Those were definitely Patricia's characteristics. Emily quickly called Michael. "Michael, I heard your mother has been coming to Lily's room. Did you know about this?" Michael sounded surprised on the other end of the phone. "What? Mother? I didn't know. I mean, I only told her about Lily being hospitalized yesterday. According to the nurse, she came last night and the night before, late at night. How did she find out about the hospital?" "Wait a minute, let me check with her." 10 minutes later, Michael called back. "Mother is acting defiant, saying, 'What's wrong with visiting my grandchild?' She won't tell me how she found out about the hospital, but she's definitely been coming." Emily held her head. Not following visiting hours shows a complete lack of common sense. "I'm sorry, Emily. I'll give her a strict warning." After hanging up, Emily returned to Lily's room. Her daughter was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. "Lily, did Grandma come to see you?" At that moment, Lily's body trembled. Her daughter quickly turned toward her mother but immediately looked away. "I don't know." "You don't know? She came to see you last night and the night before, didn't she?" "I don't remember. I was sleeping." Lily's voice was small and trembling. Emily tried to take her daughter's hand, but Lily pulled it away. "What's wrong? Did something happen?" "Nothing happened." Lily wouldn't say anything more. Emily was confused but decided it wasn't good to force her to talk. However, her daughter's strange behavior became more pronounced day by day. The next afternoon, when Emily entered the room, Lily was sitting in the chair by the window, hugging her knees. "How are you feeling today?" "Normal." "Did you eat lunch?" "A little." The conversation wouldn't continue. Emily offered Lily the puzzle book she had brought, but her daughter showed no interest. "Hey, Lily. If you have any worries, will you tell Mommy?" Lily slowly looked up at her mother. In that moment, Emily thought she saw fear in her daughter's eyes. "Mommy." "What?" "Mommy, you won't abandon me, will you?" Emily was surprised. "Why would you say such a thing? Mommy would never abandon her most precious daughter." "But what if you get a new boyfriend?" "Lily, who told you to say that?" Lily frantically shook her head. "Nobody. I just thought it." Emily tried to hug her daughter, but Lily pulled away again. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. Lily's behavior was far too unnatural. She couldn't understand why her daughter, who had been such a mama's girl before the surgery, suddenly started avoiding her mother. The next morning, as soon as Emily arrived at the hospital, she looked for Jenny. "Did that woman come again last night?" "Yes, around 2 in the morning again. This time she stayed for about 30 minutes. Was Lily awake?" "I could hear quiet voices coming from the room. But when I approached, it got quiet." Emily's anxiety turned to certainty. There was a possibility that Patricia was putting ideas into Lily's head. "Next time that woman comes, could you contact me immediately?" Jenny nodded. "I understand. But she says she's the grandmother, and Lily doesn't seem particularly bothered by it." "No, please contact me anyway. I'm begging you." That evening, Emily carefully observed Lily's behavior. Her daughter continued to avoid conversation with her mother and occasionally stared blankly into space. "Lily, do you want to see Daddy?" "Not particularly." "What about Grandma?" Lily's expression tensed for a moment. "Which grandma?" "Daddy's mother. Grandma Patricia." "I don't know her." It was obviously a lie. Lily was reacting sensitively to the word grandma. That night, Emily made a special request to the night nurse to spend the night in the hospital's family room. Officially, it was because she wanted to be by Lily's side, but actually it was to wait for Patricia to appear. After 1 in the morning, Emily hid in a corner of the hallway. Around 2:10 a.m., the elevator doors opened and a familiar figure appeared. It was Patricia, with her silver hair neatly styled and wearing an elegant coat. Patricia proceeded down the hallway with a familiar manner and stopped in front of Lily's room. She quietly opened the door and entered the room. Emily suppressed her heartbeat and moved closer to the room. Through a small gap in the door, she could glimpse inside the room. Patricia was sitting at Lily's bedside, holding her daughter's hand. Lily was awake and listening to her grandmother's words. Emily held her breath and strained her ears. "Lily, do you remember what Grandma told you?" Patricia's voice was gentle but had an undeniable tone. "Yes." Lily's voice was small and trembling. "What do you think about Mommy?" "I love Mommy." "Yes, but Mommy is always busy with work, isn't she? I wonder if she really treasures you." Emily stiffened. Patricia's words were cleverly trying to plant doubt in her daughter's mind. "Mommy works hard for me." Lily made a small protest. "Yes, for now. But what do you think will happen when Mommy gets a new boyfriend?" Lily didn't answer. Patricia continued. "You see, when adult women get lovers, they tend to forget about their children. Especially since your mommy is young, she'll probably meet a wonderful man." "That's not true. But if that happens, you might become a burden. When making a new family, having a child from a previous marriage makes things complicated, doesn't it?" Emily was shaking with anger. Patricia was saying incredibly cruel things to an 8-year-old child. "But it's okay, Lily. If you come to Daddy's house, you'll be welcomed. Daddy and his new wife will take good care of you too. You might even get a little brother or sister. Daddy has a new wife. Yes. A very kind woman. She's a kindergarten teacher who loves children. She'll be kind to you too. Emily was stunned. She had never heard of Michael remarrying. Was Patricia lying, or was she making plans without telling her son? Lily, let me teach you something important. Just in case, you need to be able to say, I don't want to live with Mommy, in court. But that would be a lie. It's not a lie. Mommy is always working and doesn't have much time to spend with you, right? And raising a child alone is hard, so she's always irritated, isn't she? Mommy isn't irritated. But she's tired, isn't she? Working late into the night, rushing to make lunch in the morning. Seeing Mommy like that, don't you feel sorry for her? Lily fell silent. Patricia's words were partially true. It was true that Emily worked busily and sometimes showed a tired expression. Let's practice. Try saying, Mommy is always working and I'm lonely. I don't want to say that. Lily. Patricia's voice became slightly stern. Do you want to make Grandma sad? I'm saying this because I care about you. So you can be happy. Lily started crying. But I can't betray Mommy. It's not betrayal. You're just expressing your true feelings. Mommy would want to know that you're actually feeling lonely, wouldn't she? Patricia took out a small notebook from her handbag. This is a diary. I've been recording the time you spent with Mommy. Look at this. How many days do you think Mommy played with you last month? The notebook had detailed notes written in small handwriting. Emily couldn't read the contents from a distance, but it was clear that Patricia was creating some kind of evidence. Only 3 days. Out of a week, she only played with you for 3 days. Is this what a loving mother does? Mommy has work. But if you come to Daddy's house, you can spend time together every day. Your new Mommy will also dedicate herself entirely to taking care of you. You can see which is better for you, can't you? Emily had reached her limit. She couldn't just stand by and watch her daughter be poisoned by Patricia any longer. But then Lily said in a small voice. Grandma, please stop. I want to stay with Mommy. Patricia's expression changed completely. The mask of the kind grandmother fell away, revealing the face of a cold woman. Lily, you don't understand because you're a child. How harsh the adult world can be. The day will surely come when Mommy will want to let you go. When that time comes, it will be too late to regret it. That's not true. Lily's voice became louder. Patricia hastily covered her daughter's mouth with her hand. Be quiet. The nurses will come. At that moment, Emily reached her breaking point. She burst through the door into the room. Take your hands off Lily. Patricia turned around in surprise. Her face showed the same shock as a criminal caught in the act. Emily, this is. Be quiet. I heard everything you were doing to my daughter. Lily saw her mother and broke down crying. Mommy, I'm sorry. I couldn't say anything. Emily hugged her daughter while glaring at Patricia. Brainwashing an 8-year-old child, you're not human. Patricia tried to hide her agitation, but her eyes showed the panic of a cornered animal. I was thinking of my grandchild. Don't lie. You're just using an innocent child for your own selfish desires. Nurses rushed into the room. Jenny, who had heard the commotion, had also contacted security. Patricia stood up, clutching her handbag. Don't think this is the end, Emily. I still have other means. Don't ever come near my daughter again. Emily's voice was shaking with anger. The room was momentarily enveloped in heavy silence. When Patricia saw the security guard arriving, she suddenly straightened her posture and tried to regain her usual refined expression. "This is a misunderstanding. I was just worried about my grandchild." "Misunderstanding?" Emily stood up while still holding her daughter. "You call telling an 8-year-old child, 'Mommy will abandon you if she gets a new lover,' concern for your grandchild?" Nurse Jenny was explaining the situation to the security guard. The guard looked between both parties with a confused expression. "Mrs. Thompson, should we call the police?" Before Emily could answer, hurried footsteps could be heard from the hallway. Michael rushed into the room, out of breath. "I got a call from Emily and came as fast as I could." "Mother, what on earth are you doing?" When Patricia saw her son, she suddenly put on a tearful expression. "Michael, I'm worried about Lily. Emily is always working, and I couldn't bear to see this child feeling lonely." "Mother, that's not your decision to make." Michael's voice had an unusual sternness. He approached Lily, who was sitting on the bed. "Lily, did Grandma say anything strange to you?" Lily looked up at her father and nodded slightly. "She said Daddy was getting a new mommy. That I should go to Daddy's house." Michael turned to his mother with a stunned expression. "Mother, how could you? I'm not even thinking about remarrying." "But you're getting along well with Elizabeth, aren't you?" Patricia desperately tried to defend herself. "She wants children too, and with Lily, you could be the perfect family." "Elizabeth?" Emily frowned. "Who's that?" Michael held his head. "A woman Mother recently introduced me to. But I only met her as a friend. We never talked about marriage even once." "But you're shy," Patricia's voice rose. "I have to give you a little push. For Lily too, it's better to have a home with proper parents." "What do you mean by proper parents?" Emily exploded with anger. "Are you saying I'm an unfit mother?" Patricia took out the notebook from her handbag. "Look, here's the evidence. The time you spend with Lily, the content of her meals, the days you helped with homework, everything is recorded." Emily snatched the notebook. When she opened it, there were indeed detailed records, but the contents were all distorted facts. "These are all lies. You have me being with Lily even when I was working. How did you make such records?" "I got information from Sarah, the school clerk. She's my former colleague and always told me about Lily's situation." Michael turned pale. "Mother, you were even manipulating the school." "It's not manipulation. I was just recording facts. The days Emily was late for pickup, the days she forgot lunch, the days she didn't come to parent conferences. I was late for pickup only once. I was 15 minutes late because I had an important meeting with a client. I forgot lunch because I rushed to take Lily to the hospital when she had a fever that morning." Emily read from the record. "Parent conferences. I attended all of them. This says, absent, but that's a lie." Patricia's expression showed confusion. "That might have been Sarah's mistake." "A mistake?" Michael glared at his mother. "Mother, you were intentionally creating false records, weren't you?" The security guard interrupted. "Excuse me, this is a hospital. Please consider the patients." "You're right," Jenny agreed. "For Lily's sake, could you please talk quietly?" Then Lily said in a small voice, "Grandma, why do you tell lies?" Patricia looked at her granddaughter with a start. "Lily, Grandma isn't lying." "You are lying. Mommy is always there for me. Even when she's busy, she always makes time for me. Everything Grandma said is a lie." Lily's words were fatal for Patricia. The very granddaughter she was supposedly helping had denied her grandmother's claims. Michael sat down in a chair. "Mother, why did you do this? Emily is a wonderful mother. But single mothers have limits. Children need fathers too. That's my responsibility from the divorce." But that doesn't give you the right to undermine Emily or brainwash Lily. Patricia showed a hurt expression at her son's words. I just thought if the family could be whole again. By lying. By using a child. Emily's voice trembled. What you did was hurt Lily's heart. Do you understand how confused and hurt this child was? Patricia tried to argue back, but Lily spoke again. Grandma, I love Mommy. I love Daddy too. But I hate people who lie. The child's pure and honest words changed the atmosphere in the room. Patricia seemed to understand the seriousness of what she had done for the first time. I was just. Mother, Michael stood up. If you're going to apologize, now is the time. Please sincerely apologize to Emily and Lily, and promise never to do this again. However, Patricia showed a stubborn expression. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to talk to Elizabeth and formally apply for a change of custody. What? Emily was stunned. I'm going to petition the court. Let's have them decide in court who can provide the best environment for Lily. Michael stood in front of his mother. Mother, I have no intention of marrying Elizabeth. And I have no intention of fighting for Lily's custody. Emily is raising her properly. You don't understand, Patricia tried to push past her son. Men don't understand the details of child rearing. That's enough, Emily stood up. Let's call the police. I'm pressing charges for stalking and psychological abuse of a child. The security guard had already contacted the police. The patrol car has arrived. Only then did Patricia understand the seriousness of the situation. If it became a police matter, she would lose the honor and position she held as a former school board employee. Wait, Patricia panicked. There's no need to go that far. It's too late, Emily said firmly. You crossed the line. You brainwashed an 8-year-old child and tried to separate her from her mother. This is a crime. 2 police officers entered the room. After hearing the situation, they informed Patricia of the possibility of a restraining order. Michael gave his mother one last chance. Mother, if you sincerely apologize, Emily might reconsider. Patricia wavered between pride and reality. But ultimately, she chose to bow her head. Emily, Lily, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Emily looked down at Lily. Her daughter was waiting for her mother's judgment. Lily, what do you think? Lily thought for a moment before answering. If Grandma promises not to lie anymore, I'll forgive her. Emily took a deep breath. Officer, please proceed with the restraining order. However, if she swears never to do anything like this again, I'll hold off on pressing charges. Patricia nodded while crying. I won't do it again. I swear. 3 months later, Emily and Lily were at the pediatric outpatient clinic of Sacramento General Hospital. It was a visit for a regular checkup, but this time it had special meaning. For Lily, it was also an opportunity to break away from the memories of that terrible night. Mrs. Thompson, Lily's recovery is perfect, Dr. Wilson, the attending physician, reported with a smile. The surgical scar has healed beautifully, and there are no more restrictions. Lily sat on the examination table and said brightly to the doctor, Doctor, I'm not scared at night anymore. Hearing those words, tears welled up in Emily's eyes. It was the moment she truly realized her daughter had recovered. When they left the examination room, Michael was waiting in the hallway. He had offered to accompany them to the monthly checkups, and now it had become a new custom for the 3 of them to visit the hospital together. How did it go? Perfect, Emily smiled. She can return to normal life now. Great job, Lily, Michael lifted his daughter up. Today let's celebrate by going to that new ice cream shop. Yay! Lily clapped her hands in joy. The 3 headed to the hospital cafeteria. What would have been unthinkable before had now become natural, spending time together once a month as a family. It was a new form of family where divorced spouses cooperated as friends and as parents of their daughter. Speaking of which, about mother, Michael carefully brought up the topic. She started receiving counseling. Emily was surprised. Patricia? Yes. She wants to examine her own behavior. Of course, she has no intention of approaching you two, but she wants to make amends in her own way. Since that night, Patricia had strictly observed the restraining order. She had also distanced herself from her connections from her school board days and was reportedly spending lonely days. Emily had mixed feelings, but if Patricia was reflecting in her own way, she thought that was a good thing. "What do you think, Lily?" Emily asked her daughter. Lily thought for a moment before answering. "If Grandma stops lying and really reflects on what she did, I might see her someday. But I'm still scared now." It was a remarkably mature answer for an 8-year-old child. The counseling had helped, but more than anything, it was a manifestation of her daughter's own strength and kindness. "You don't have to force yourself," Emily stroked her daughter's head. "When you're ready, that's fine." While eating ice cream, Lily told her parents about recent events at school. Making new friends, winning an award for her book report, being chosen as the caretaker for the class rabbit. They were all ordinary elementary school daily life events, but for Emily, they were more precious than anything. "Oh, that's right," Lily suddenly said as if remembering. "For the upcoming school play, can both my parents come to watch?" Emily and Michael looked at each other. "Of course," Emily answered. "I'll come too," Michael nodded. "But won't the other kids' parents think it's strange?" "It's okay," Lily said confidently. "We're a special family. Mommy and Daddy aren't married, but they put me first. That's enough." Emily's heart warmed at her daughter's words. Family isn't just about blood relationships. Lily already understood that caring for each other, supporting each other, and protecting each other is what makes a real family. On the way home from the hospital, Emily reflected on her life. The struggles of being a single mother, the conflict with Patricia, and that terrible night. But all of those things had led to the happiness they had now. Because they had overcome difficulties, their family bond had become stronger. Looking at Lily sleeping in the back seat, Emily quietly made a vow. To protect this child's smile, she would fight again and again. And she understood that love sometimes means fighting. As the sunset was setting in the western sky, the three were walking toward their new daily life. It might not be perfect, but as a family filled with love. And that bond was stronger than blood and would never waver, no matter what happened.